is, are you trustworthy? Are you trustworthy? One of the main things that I find in life, in general, is somewhere along the line, somebody, some process, some situation has broken our trust. And then we take that into every other relationship, every other situation, every other circumstance. And then that continues to break trust. Now many times, all the time for most of us, we want other people to prove that they can be trusted, but we ourselves are not worthy of their trust. So it's safe to say that if I want to have trusting relationships in my life, first thing that needs to happen is I need to become a person who is trustworthy. I have to be worthy of your trust. If you want to have trusting relationships in your life, you have to become worthy of my trust. Right? We all have heard those statements where it says your trust is earned. Okay? And to a degree, I think that's incorrect. Because trust is given. But you choose who to give it to. Okay? If you're surrounded with people who aren't sharing, who aren't trusting you, who aren't speaking to you, if you are surrounded with meaningless relationships, maybe you are the person who's not worthy of trust. Not, I can't trust other people because they are going to hurt me. Okay, are you the kind of person that is worthy of someone else's trust? And you can say yes. But if no one trusts you, you're not. It's quite simple to say, quite easy to say that, yes, I am worthy of other people's trust. Okay? Prove it. Look at your relationships in your life. Look at the past, the history in your life. And motivate to me why you say you're worthy of trust. Okay, next one. If you think that people respect you, and that, in a sense, shows that you can be trusted, make sure that you're not confusing respect with fear. Okay? Because many people fear authority, but don't respect them. So it looks like respect. And in the meantime, I'm just doing what I have to do so that I don't get in trouble. And then that looks like I trust you. So if you're in a position of authority, make sure you're worthy of respect. Because at the end of the day, somebody is going to come to you and say, here is my trust. I give it to you. Handle with care. Our families, our loved ones, I've said this to us many, many times, they take their trust, they give it to us. Yes, Mom, yes, Dad, no, I won't do this again, I won't do that again, I'm sorry, please just trust me. They give us their trust. And countless times we've proved that we're not worthy of their trust. We're untrustworthy. But then how can we turn it around and then go and say, well, people can't be trusted. I can't trust my family, or I can't trust people to do this, I can't trust people to do that, when you're the main untrustworthy one. What about this? Maybe you're trying to prove to someone else that you're trustworthy, but in the process of proving to this someone else, maybe an organization, maybe a person, whatever the case may be, that you're trustworthy, you're stepping and hurting every other relationship, every other person. You're still not trustworthy. If I am that person that you're trying to prove to me that I can trust you, but while you're proving to me that that I can trust you. You're hurting and betraying other people. I know I can trust you. Does this sound familiar? And we become steppers on people. And we're so busy climbing this ladder of success, we don't realize this ladder is standing against the wrong wall. And we're continuously the victims when we're not. How many times have you said, trust me, just give me another chance, just give me another chance, just trust me, just trust me. And then when the people don't want to trust you, you get upset because they don't trust you. But you know when somebody says to you, hey man, you can trust me. Probably couldn't. You'll know if you can be trusted. I'm not saying that in order to be trustworthy, you can't make mistakes. What I'm saying is, in order to be trustworthy, if you've made a mistake, own it. Don't make the mistake and place the blame. That doesn't make you trustworthy. That doesn't make you responsible. That doesn't even make you anything great. That just makes you pass the buck. Okay, we live in a time, I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but gossiping and slandering someone seems to be the main way we deal with frustration. So we keep, this irritates or offends us, so we keep over here in this little circle the issue that's wrong over there, and then in this little circle discrediting the people, the situation, the thing that's wrong, but never go and address it. So by the time it becomes something big where we have to address it, no one wants to hear it out because gossiping and slandering has already discredited the whole situation. Do you guys know, in an untrusting environment, you seldom find the real truth. If somebody trusts me and they make a mistake, I'll be the first to know. If they don't trust me, I'll find out via the grapevine. Does that then mean I can't trust my people? Or does that mean I should look whether I'm worthy of their trust? Because it's quite easy to go and point and say, I can't trust the people I work with. I can't trust this, I can't trust that. But let's look in a mirror. If I'm the last to find out why something's wrong, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Is everybody okay? I'm not trying to be heavy. Okay. Just checking everybody's still alive. I don't hear anybody breathe for like 5 minutes, I swear. Alright, if you have to discredit someone or something in order to make yourself look good, you're not worthy of trust. We do that so often, it's so easy, but it's so wrong. Man. I'd much rather look good, even when you look good, than look good because you look bad. Amen. Big difference. I need to be a trustworthy person first, I've mentioned that. So what I have to do is to show you through my actions, to motivate you through my behaviors, through my life, through the way I communicate, through the way I live, through the way I do things, that you can trust me with something. So, if I've made a promise that I'm going to do something and I don't live up to that promise, I should go to you and say, hey man, I'm not going to be able to do that, and then I know I said I would, but that's why I preserve the trust. Not, oh, you know what, I'll get over it, and one day I'll just tell them. If you said you're going to pay someone back what they've borrowed from you, you go and pay them back. If you can't, you go and you make another arrangement. Let them know what the whole story is and say, listen, I said I'll give you so much and so much, but I can't right now. Because of this and this and this, can I give you this much? Is it okay if we make a new agreement? Because it's important to me to have your trust. Because life happens. But if you're a person that's worthy of someone's trust, you approach things that way. If a situation presents itself for you to exercise your trustworthiness, you exercise it. The fact that it becomes difficult, or you find it, it's not ideal, or it's going to cost you something, is not motivation enough for you to break the trust of that person. If I have to look bad in order to maintain the trust in the relationships I have, let me look bad. But never me look good and then I break trust. Because we've been approaching it that way, and we always want to defend ourselves so much that we end up with no meaning in our relationships. No one trusts us. No one desires to spend time with us. And if it is, it's just pretentious in any case. And it's not fun. Please turn to Proverbs 20. Verse 19. Okay, it says this. Where am I now? Okay, yeah. The one who reveals secrets is a constant gossip. Avoid someone with a big mouth. So it's not saying conceal someone's secrets and you'll be trustworthy. Okay, so it's not saying keep something in the dark that's wrong and you'll be trustworthy. What it's saying is, if somebody over here comes and shares something with me, I don't go and share that with everybody else. Somebody comes to me and says, listen, I made this mistake and that mistake and I think it's going to get me in this kind of trouble. And then later on, when the same person's made something else, I don't all of a sudden bring that up again and say, oh yeah, by the way, this person's done that and that as well. Because then I betray confidence. If somebody's done wrong, bring it to the light, please. But in order to maintain trust, go to that person first and say, listen man, I've spoken to you about this. I don't think this is right. I'm going to go and say something. So that way you still maintain trust. But my motivation is never to go and expose something so that I can look good because I was the exposer. I go and expose something because you need to get rid of that and you can become better. That's the motivation. That's why I still stay a trustworthy person. If you turn to Proverbs 29 quickly. Verse 26. It says, many seeks a ruler's favor. Many people Many people want to be liked by the boss, the manager, the person in charge. Many people seek the ruler's favor. Okay? How many times have you not gone and sought the ruler's favor, and in that betray your confidence in other people? How many times have you gone to seek the ruler's favor, and in that you sold a piece of your soul? Whoever this ruler could be, it could be a supervisor, it could be a person, it could be a big boss of a company, whatever it could be your dad, it could be your mom, but the ruler in that situation, how many times have you gone and you seeked favor from this person, and you've let other people pay the price for that favor? And then we sit and we say, I have no meaningful relationships in my life. I'm surrounded with people I cannot trust. But if I don't promote a healthy, trustworthy lifestyle, how can I be surrounded with people that will trust me and that I can trust? You see, in leadership, they speak about authority and responsibility. And you can't have the one without the other. Right? So, it's your responsibility to sort out your life. But you give someone else the authority to do it for you. That won't work. What do I mean? It's my responsibility, but someone else has the authority. So somebody who's hurt me, offended me, betrayed me, some relationship, whatever the case may be, has the authority over my identity. So those people determine who I'm supposed to be. Or, I have it this way. I have the authority over my life, but it's your responsibility to make sure my life is a success. Those are the two approaches we have. We have that when it comes to management styles and these kind of things as well, in life in general. But if you're too afraid to give the person the authority, don't give them the responsibility. So, if you look at somebody in your life in the past that you've wanted to give definition to your life, would you have taken that person? Would I have taken one of my ex-girlfriends or old friends and given them the authority to decide who I am and what I'm going to be? No. Then I can't give them a responsibility for it either. Would I give it to myself? Well, then I can't be responsible for it either. But remember this. If you have the authority, you automatically have the responsibility. You can't simply just give the responsibility away. So what is your trust situation in your life look like? How many people do you think says, you know what, I can trust you? If you had to honestly answer that question, would we get more than 2? I don't think so. Would the person who's sitting next to you today be able to say, hey man, I can give my trust to you because you're worthy of it? Okay, Josh.
I'm okay.
If you can't say yes to that question, then I suggest you check it yourself. Because it's not the person next to you. It's Stop betraying people's confidence in you. Start taking responsibility for your own life. Start exercising the authority that's been given to you. Alright, let's pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this message, Lord. I just pray, God, that you'll show us, make us so sensitive to your Spirit, Lord, that when these things happen, when we find ourselves in these situations, that we can have a realistic look at our lives, so we can see whether or not we are really the problem or not. God, I ask that you remove blame shifting from us. Really, Lord, that's such a pathetic character trait, and we have to get rid of that. Let us take responsibility and claim back authority for our lives in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.